Hello everybody, how are we doing today? Oh my goodness, I'm just sitting here at the edge of the garden underneath this beautiful apple tree. Actually, I'll try and turn it up so you can see what I'm talking about. See? Beautiful. I don't know, location has always been important to me, so just, settle into the space, get cozy, get calm. I just felt like doing a reading today. And so I picked up the Inner Temple Oracle by Rebecca Campbell and the Isis deck, travel version by Elena Fairchild, and a third one from Maddie Murphy under Notes from Your Higher Self. So this one's very fun because it swears at you, which is hilarious. So anyway, I'm going to start this reading off. Yeah, I think Isis needs to come out first, not the retaliatory, thing going on, but the Egyptian goddess that I have been working with and adore dearly. So Isis's energy, her energy is very much about stepping into your power and facing your fears with love and light, but also just this inner cultivation of dark feminine. It's light and dark in one. Because she basically had to go through hell and back to become who she is today. There's a lot of transformation involved, but I would definitely recommend looking up her story and seeing if that resonates with you, and maybe she's a goddess that you should work with. So that's something to think about. But today we have Talisman of Potency. This is what it looks like. So this is the Ankh, which is a symbol of hers, I believe. Double check, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. So anyway, I'll just read what's on the back. So, Talisman of Potency. Sacred tools and objects can become an extension of your energy field, focusing your power and intention, helping you heal the split between spirit and matter, bringing physical matter more deeply into light and life. You are encouraged to work with sacred materials in a conscious way to help your own healing and enjoyment for the material world as part of your spiritual practice. Ritual work. What I have found over the last 3 years even, is despite travel, despite not maybe having the ultimate space that can accompany a whole table full of ritualistic items, there are ways to get around that through your mind, through accessing areas, parks, where you can be in this space. Oh, and there's birds flying around. So one way that I found that worked for me is, accessing nature in any way I possibly could. Connecting with the tree, chatting with them, or speaking with the goddesses and all this stuff. And you will be directed to so many miraculous places because of it. It could be going into deep meditation and deciding, oh, I actually need to venture to this time period. It could be, again, we're kind of on the topic of Egypt right now, so maybe that's where you need to go. You need to venture to that time period that you may or may not have lived before. There's also I keep seeing the Mayan culture, I keep seeing the Aztec temples, with the stairs and the staggered Machu Picchu. Sorry, I was I couldn't my brain never remembers in the moment. Or Petra Jordan, the eighth wonder of the world, seventh wonder. There's so many places in my mind, but those ones always come to the forefront to be examined because of the potency of the lives that were involved, for myself personally, so that might be the same for you. It's very interesting what comes up from when you connect with places and spaces, and you can do that very subtly. It doesn't have to be this overt grand gesture. I mean, of course spirit loves that, but they also understand that you can only give so much at certain times, and maybe you need the privacy, maybe you need certain things that maybe you're a little shy to give. You'll know what's right and what isn't, and where you can expand and move forward. And I just see a robin in the distance that just landed on the ground, so that could be a symbol of new beginnings, and practicing this new, embodying this new beginning that is starting to work within ritual. So I think that would be kind of important. The other option I was thinking of before I move on is I actually saw it on TikTok originally from this one creator, and it was a tiny pocket ritual thing. So essentially it was this quilted, not even quilted, it was this, you could do a shape. Anyway, I'll have to bring it up, I'll have to find it. But it's it's square this big, and you can unravel it, and it's like all these little panels that have like different imagery and based on what you want, or the goddess or gods that you would like to worship or work with. You know, having that little bit, just like, it's literally just pieces of fabric, but you can make it so much of what you want. Like, all you can do is like roll it out, it's available, it's ready. Like, it's a tiny space that you can do your ritual work in. So it's about being creative with the space that is offered to you and where you're at in your life. Maybe it's a sign that you need to shift in order to be able to do these things, but at the end of the day, like, it's your practice, and you can do what you want with it. So I think this is a great step forward into following that. Yeah, I'll just see if Isis has any other. I'll keep that. I was like, sometimes they stick out and I'm like, oh, should I? And then, I don't know, I've been doing that more and more, where I've been the one taking action and kind of like being the one to physically pull rather than letting them just fly out, like just trusting that like I can pull, essentially. It's kind of been an interesting transition that way. Yeah. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, so along with the Ankh, the Talisman of Potency, there is 3 cards that came out. So I'll just give you a look. So they're all, these 2 are in reverse. Hi, baby. We got our kitty here. Do you want to say hi? This is Bullet. He's our hunter, so maybe that could be significant for you too, is like he just wants to play and, well, not even play, he wants to eat. But he's very powerful that way, so yeah, he's a great little warrior. So anyway, so that's Bullet. But yeah, so the 3 cards that came out was the Divine Sunchild, the Dark Healing Chamber, and Stay True and Be in Your Power. Sorry. So between these 3, I'll kind of hold them up so you can get a better idea. It feels like an emergence, like you're meant to go into the Dark Healing Chamber first of all. Like, this is kind of the middle ground for you to step into and to feel safe in before you step out again and become this divine version of who you were always meant to be. But you need to go into the darkness first in order to reach the light. It's very much this, I keep wanting to say dichotomy, but it's not even that. It's like, it's an inversion. It is this, in order to expand, you have to recede. In order to do this, you have to do that. You have to do the opposite of what you think you should be doing. One thing I found today in speaking with a good friend was understanding the difference between passive and active action. So what I mean by that, like in terms of your manifestations or anything that you want, you know, there's certain things that you think that you're doing that are kind of like pointing the needle in the right direction, which they are, but it's very small. It's not as big of a leap as spirit might want. So in that case, like for me, it was about deciphering, oh, okay, like, you know, I said, yeah, like I've been saving a lot of money, I've been really putting it towards this thing that I really want, and blah blah blah. But you know, he was saying that, like, well, that's passive, that's so passive, like that's not you letting that money flow freely in order to create more abundance to come in. So I know it seems counterintuitive, but maybe spending a little bit on things that like actually matter or help you in this further transition, like that's what's going to help get to where you want to go. And for me, it's like abundance, great. So I have to recede, have to take this information, even if it's momentary. Like, it doesn't have to be like you have to spend months in the side of a mountain range to figure out what it is you're after. But sitting with yourself is definitely the key to being able to stand in your true power, which is this. So you are a sovereign divine being with spiritual authority and freedom within. You do not need permission from anyone to be who you are and live your life as you so choose. This is your divine birthright. Guard it as the precious treasure that it is, and remember that, woo, sorry, ew, sorry. There's some flies in there, they're mating right now. I just didn't want that on me. It's not gross, it's life, but I'm just like, I just didn't expect that. But that was on my left hand. Maybe that's significant. The left is about receiving. That's more of the feminine energy. Yes, we embody both of it, so don't ever panic that you're like, I am just a block of testosterone and like, yeah, like, no, it's not about that. Anyway, But maybe that could be a thing for you, is like there might be procreation in the cards. It doesn't necessarily have to mean anything beyond that, but maybe there's some pleasure involved by you staying true to yourself and working in these rituals like in a safe space. Like, you know, obviously if you're just starting out, you're considering yourself a baby witch or things like that, it's always best to just like start with protection and work your way up, and know yourself better, and what are the signals within your body that are going to tell you whether this spell is working, this certain thing has shifted properly, and who you connect with is important as well. So just keep that in mind, because you don't want to like open doors to things you don't want. It's really hard to, you know, move from, and sometimes, yes, it's life lessons and things, but there are other times it can be avoided. So anyway, take that as you will, take it as it resonates. That's where your own personal discernment comes into play. Okay, but yeah, with the Divine Sun Child, like this to me, it's almost similar to like the Sun card in tarot, where it's like it's the brightest, happiest card in the deck, right? But to me, like this one is so intense with like the birds going on and the masc and femme together and the sun and like but also the darkness, and like all of this is kind of happening in one, but it feels very harmonious in a way. Like it's very powerful, and like this is who you're meant to be. Like it's very much in that sense. So blessings of the sun flow to you now. It is time to allow your life to flourish without limits, to let your light burn bright and without veil, just like the midsummer sun burning without contest in the Egyptian desert. It is your time to shine bright. Yes. So yeah, that's just another reiteration of the sun card, of allowing, I apologize, I feel like I have hair all over my nose right now. Yeah, it feels like that's like what's coming for you. It's this happiness that's kind of come your way in whatever fashion. It could be, again, having some fun. It could be all sorts of things. So yeah, but staying true to who you are by going within to then go out, it's going to help you in a lot of ways, and you can do that through ritual work. So that is what Mother Isis had to share. Now we're going to get into the Inner Temple Oracle. Now I am personally such a big fan of this one. This is the latest deck that I got about, oh gosh, like 6 months ago now, because I have so many. It's just like I don't really need a whole lot at this time. But this one felt really potent, and I feel like all these cards are very powerful. You know, it's not just like the light and fluffy. Like now we're getting into more of the nitty gritty, which I think is fun. So anyway, I like to shuffle on the ground. Oh, hello. So just want to see what other like themes or messaging that we're after here. Okay. Yeah, I feel like there's so many that could come out, and sometimes I take it, sometimes I don't. I need to trust that more, obviously. Maybe that's why I gotta stop picking. Anyway, it's fine. So, okay, we have got a boatload of cards here now, because, you know, just can't be helped, you know? Okay, so we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, and then 5, 6. So, okay, on top of all of this, I'm just gonna set it nicely here. Okay, we're gonna start with, all right, the golden thread and the chamber of transformation. And keep in mind the chamber of transformation was in reverse, so it means to me it's like extra important that you focus on this, and it landed over the dark healing chamber when I was setting cards down. So to me that represents like this is what's going to unlock this abundance that's meant for you, the sun card. It is a sign of good fortune and all good things, but first we have to face the darkness within in order to do that. So I've been going through this journey for a long time when it comes to transformation, and there's so much to it. There's so many layers, there's so many alcoves and tunnels and mazes that in labyrinths that you run through in order to become the version of you that you are today, which is this happiness. And what I mean by like the golden thread involved, it's this inner guidance, this inner wisdom, intuition that is guiding you through this labyrinth. that is allowing you to step up into the best version of who you are, the most embodied, the most powerful, the most self-sovereign. What's the other word I'm looking for? Like this autonomy within that no one can take away from you. That is what this is talking about. But you have to face your fears. You have to go into the labyrinth in order to find this lightness that you will also find within. It's kind of like Indiana Jones when he's grabbing the that gold talisman, like, you know, this object. And of course, yeah, when you go in, there might be booby traps and all these different things, but truthfully, it's very, very important to still go through that journey, because he was not the same man that went into that cave as he was when he came out, just from that experience alone. I'm not saying that it's going to be dangerous and that there's going to be all these things, not at all. Like, it's more about knowing what's subconsciously running in the background in order to set you free and to transform. And you do that by following this golden thread, this tug within your body, this tug within your soul that's guiding you through this maze. It's a very interesting way of looking at it, honestly, because it can feel vast, it can feel confusing, it can feel very intimidating to go within. For the longest time, I envisioned it like a theater where the curtain was drawn, but I was the one that had to draw it back in order to see what was on the other side. But I was so terrified of even going that far that I just kept it shut, thinking that I was doing something. But I needed to go deeper in order to excavate what needed to be released. But to understand what is running in the background, all these old wounds, like the father wound, persecution wound, mother wound, fear of being seen, fear of success, fear of failure, fear, right? It is always rooted in some type of fear that you need to face. Yeah, it's a minotaur in the labyrinth, but you have the golden thread. And there's also a goddess that, her story, I believe it's in Japanese folklore, where this princess or this queen, it was something about her brother had either sent her there or kept her there to keep her safe, and she ended up tumbling into the underworld, and she kept this red thread with her and allowed her to move through and get by. And I think that's also similar in Greek mythology, if I'm not mistaken. So it's interesting that there's an echo between this, but this golden thread, sorry, I should move this closer, but this golden thread is what's guiding you through this labyrinth that you need to take. But it's safe. You're still in the present, you're still able to move through this with love and with compassion for yourself and taking the breaks that you need, but still forging ahead. I feel like this is for a collective that has been doing this type of work for a long time, or at least somebody that they're kind of in between. They're in the in-between right now. They're not who they once were, but they're not who they are meant to be just yet. And it can feel like a lot, but it is real. And it's something that everyone can journey through in their own time. But there will come a day when it has to be faced. But you don't have to stress about it. This is something that will come with time and with inner trust. So I learned from a friend, if you spin it, if it's in the maybe position, it's one or the other, you don't quite know what it is, you do this and then you see where it lands. So this is twice now that I spun it, and it landed on inner winter. So I don't know if you can see that. So this is a neat deck because you can flip it, but it landed on this twice, I promise. So with the inner winter, it's another sign, another callback to go within. Take this time to be the hermit, to be the one that's not exactly as extroverted as they would like to be. Maybe you are the introvert and this is just stock standard, but this is about embracing that stillness that comes with exploring this labyrinth. I keep coming back to that imagery because I think it's really important to understand how the inner psyche works, and this is a great exploration of that. But yeah, when you get the inner winter, it's all about patience, practice. This is where the universe is saying, hey, we're giving you the time to be able to embody what you have learned from your big lessons before, the big action steps, the big movements that you have taken, the big moves anywhere. And there's a butterfly. So what I'm getting about this is this is spirit giving you the opportunity to spend time with yourself, to get used to yourself, to get in this space of self-love, self-care, and self-attention, so that you can emerge from this and come back to summer. So it all takes time. Now, last three I got was I should have looked at this before. The in between. So like I said, it is very much you're not quite here, you're not quite there yet. I think it's interesting having this woman with the veil and like the dead flowers and stuff. Like, to me, it's kind of like a mourning bride. Like, it can be very jarring actually, but what I also see is like there's lightness coming, you know. Yeah, it's dark, but like there's so much light, and you can see that within her like third eye as well, or her crown, third eye. Yeah, like, to me that is very symbolic of the darkness is leaving. Like, this, to me, it feels very much like you, once you go through this labyrinth and you seek what you desire, but also the lessons that you're here to learn, it's going to open everything up. Not just at the third eye, where you can see a bit more and understand yourself in the universe a bit more, but like everything in life. Like, to me, this card feels like it's just going to envelop you in light. This isn't a matter of being swallowed whole by the darkness. This is a matter of like, it's actually going to keep expanding. So it might feel tough in the moment, but I promise you it's worth it. And the last two cards I had, I know I had this before. So, okay, Destiny, Life, and Chamber of Power. This is going to allow you to step into your highest timeline. This is the access point. This is how you're going to get there, right? We are going within through ritual, or at least through contemplation and meditation. We're accessing the labyrinth. We're following that tether, which is our intuition, through every part of this maze. We are seeking enlightenment. We are seeking that which is destroying us so that we can heal it and release it. We are following that inner intuition to guide us to and through this maze. And from that point, you will access this chamber of power. There's somewhere deep within this catacomb, deep within this labyrinth, where that power is nestled. And it has been patiently waiting for you to access it over and over again. It feels the vibrations above. It sees the dust coming off the ceiling. It's been sitting there a long time. But this is the opening. This is the crack of light that's coming through. That's from the in-between. This is what's going to open up. And with the destined life, what it means, I also see more with the golden... Oh, sorry. I also see with the golden thread that is going to carry you through to this and what you want as well. So, yeah, confirmation from Bullet. But yeah, so that is where I'm going to leave you. I feel like that was a super, not even heavy message, but it's very potent in the sense of like, this is the work that you're here to do. And I think it's something that anyone can access, but it's a matter of personal determination, personal need, healing, and not being afraid to go within. And that's half the battle. So if you can do that, bring your sword and your shield and go bravely. So with that, I love you. Thank you so much for joining me today.